What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. It's time to do the 2014 review on the new Behemoth album entitled The Satanist. Now, for those who don't know the band, Behemoth are an extreme metal band from Poland. This is their 10th studio album, and it's the follow-up to their previous album, which came out in 2009. However, in 2010, their frontman, Nirgal, had been suffering through leukemia. But right now, Behemoth are back with vengeance and just an extreme positive album from a lot of reviewers that have been praising this album so much. And at first I wasn't a fan of Behemoth until I decided to check out the album myself, and I'm just extremely proud. This is an album that is absolutely phenomenal. No wonder this album, by some people would say, it's a contender for album of the year. But anyways, Behemoth to me had been one of these hard-working and busily concentrated bands in modern metal, from the creativity and just for their heavy sound. So for their first couple of albums from their career, they've been going through the straight-up black metal sound, but as their career carried on, they've been going to move on to some of the more death metal vibes with the black metal sounds, and now they've came across with more of the blackened, dark sounds of those two genres alone. And this is just an album that is absolutely great from beginning to end, and Nuclear Blast Records is the record label for this album, and it has 9 tracks, and it runs in about nearly 44.5 minutes. So, The Satanist is definitely one of the best releases of 2014. I know that's just obvious to say from a lot of metalheads, but they'll just agree with me on that. So, yeah. So I became more of a fan of Behemoth right now after more of the multiple listens of The Satanist, and it just never goes out of style, because there's just something about this album that's just extremely special from, the fans in general, and for their very unique heavy sound. A lot of the songs in the album really do deliver extremely well with the intense and creative brutality, and these songs really do sometimes begin with a dark, low tone, and some of them really does begin with a complete explosion, or just a bang basically. And there's just a lot of the songs on this album that really do stand out. Blow Your Trumpets, Gabriel, Ora Pro Nobis Lucifer, The Satanist, In the Absence of Light, O Father, O Satan, O Son, and just the other songs. And the vocals from Nirgal on this album is phenomenal, and his vocal range really does stand out from the very strong, heavy growls. And I'd say he's just definitely one of the best metal vocalists, and he's just so out there from when he does his really strong, unique vocals. And I'm not going to pronounce the other band members' names because I might butcher them. So yeah, the guitar work on the album is fantastic, with the very, very good heavy distortion sound to it, and the playing at the same time is absolutely great, with some really quick, fast-paced riffs, and they just never stop from a lot of these songs. And the drums on this album is absolutely ridiculous, and I mean ridiculous, and it's just all over the place in a good way. It's just completely exploded with the excitement of blast beats, and just some of the fast-paced sounding double bass pedaling I have heard for quite some time. You know, it does remind me of George from Nile, from his really quick technicality drumming, and the drums on this album really does remind me of other drummers that are just completely non-stop in your face, aggressive from their really punchy and heavy sound. The bass guitar work on the album as well is also really good, and the sound of it is really great with the pretty loud, heavy low tone, and it's just like the guitar work, really. It's just loud as well. So the production is absolutely great. You know, as I said about the guitar sound, it does have the very raw distortion tone to it, and the drums on this album, really great, punchy, heavy sound, and there's even a lot of additional musicians that have been, you know, recording their pieces to make the songs more darker and intense. Instruments like the cellos, to the French horn, the trumpets, and also some backing vocals here and there, and just the whole album from start to finish is definitely one of the most impressive and, in my opinion, well written and constructively, you know, well recorded releases I have heard this year alone. So I was just extremely impressed by the very good, interesting sounds that Behemoth really took, and they can really just make them into one big, heavy explosions of their brutality and for their more darker, interesting sounds. So this is just without a doubt going to be one of these albums where I would just listen to occasionally, just on repeat, without any pauses or just, you know, quick breaks, because of how fantastic this album is. And it's just an album that will end you up completely speechless, with your jaw just being completely dropped, because it was just a complete surprise for me. And you know, I bet a lot of you guys really don't need to know any more how great this album was by your own listens. It's just going to be the same opinions that I've just said, or just any other reviewer that have reviewed this album. So Behemoth really did blew me away with this album, and that's just pretty much all I've got to say about The Satanist by Behemoth. Just a really great album, from its deliverance from the songs, from the really dark and creepy sounds, and the really great strong vocal style, to the production, guitar sounds, songs in general. It's just everything that's just completely in place and just really well recorded. So as for an album rating for The Satanist, I am proudly going to give this album a 9.5 out of 10. It is my second 9.5 out of 10 rated album for this year, just like I did with that same rating for Triumph and Power by Grand Magus. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this album, and yeah, wear my Quadrophenia t-shirt from The Who, even though they are rock. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you posted for more of these reviews in the future, and as always, keep it metal.